Chapter 5. How Plants Reproduce. Introduction. Plants have a very important role to play in human lives. In addition to the vital oxygen supplied by the plants, they are also a source of food and other useful materials like medicines, oils, fibers, etc. Therefore, it becomes important for you to grow more and more plants, and to do that you need to understand how the plants grow. Reproduction in plants. Living organisms produce young ones of their own kind through a process called reproduction. Reproduction is an essential process for continuity of life on Earth. Plants also reproduce through the process of reproduction. Reproduction in plants takes place by following methods. Reproduction by the seeds. Reproduction through the spores. Reproduction through the different parts of plants, such as stems, leaves or roots. A seed has an outer covering called seed coat that protects the embryo. The seed coat has a tiny hole through which the water enters the seeds. The endosperm is placed right underneath the seed coat. It provides nutrients to the embryo of seed. These nutrients allow the seed to remain alive while it waits to germinate. The embryo or baby plant will turn into a seedling or young plant when it gets the right conditions for growth. Most seeds have to bean-shaped structures called the seed leaves or cotyledons. They store food for the growing embryo till it puts out new leaves. Germination of seeds. The process by which a seed grows into a seedling or a baby plant is called germination. A germinating seed needs air to breathe. Seed sown in the soil absorbs water from it. As a result, the seed coat becomes soft and breaks up easily. This results in the growth of the baby plant inside the seed. A small root called radicle comes out of the germinating seed and grows downward. It later grows into the root system of the new plant. Next, the baby shoot or plumule comes out and starts growing upwards. The radicle forms the root and the plumule forms the shoot with stems and leaves. The cotyledons provides nourishment to the various parts of the embryo during germination. If all the seeds grow very close to parent plants, they will compete for air, water and nutrients. This struggle can be overcome by a process called dispersal of seeds. Dispersal of seeds. The process by which the seeds are scattered away from the parent plant is called dispersal of seeds. Dispersal prevents growing of baby plants very close to parent plant, thus, new plants get enough air, water and sunlight to grow. Agents of seed dispersal. Seeds are dispersed in different ways. They may be carried to far-off places by wind, water or animals. These are called agents of dispersal. Some plants also disperse their seeds forcefully by ejecting them. 1. Dispersal by wind. Seeds of certain plants such as cotton, hiptage, dandelion and madar are very light and have fine hair or wing-like streakers on them. These seeds are easily carried by the wind from one place to another. 2. Dispersal by water. Seeds of certain plants such as lotus, coconut, etc., that grow in water bodies are generally dispersed by water. These seeds are spongy or have a fibrous covering which helps them to float on water. Water carries these seeds from one place to another. 3. Dispersal by animals. Seeds of some plants such as xanthium have hooks or spikes that stick to the skin of animals and are dispersed to distant places. Some seeds like guava and cherry are passed out undigested in the droppings of birds, animals and human beings. Sometimes, humans and animals eat fruits and throw the seeds away. These grow into new plants. 4. Dispersal by explosion. The fruits of some plants like poppy, bean and pea burst open when they are ripe, scattering the seeds in all directions. This method of seed dispersal is called explosion. Reproduction through spores. Some non-flowering plants like ferns and mosses do not reproduce through seeds. They make spores and reproduce through them. Spores look like tiny colored dots which germinate under suitable condition and are grown into new plants. Fungi and mushroom also reproduce through spores. Reproduction through different body parts. Many plants do not reproduce by seeds but from their body parts like roots, stem, leaves, etc. This is called vegetative reproduction. 1. Roots. Sweet potato, radish and carrot grow into new plants when replanted. 2. Stems. Some plants like potato are actually stems. They have buds called eyes that grow into new plants. Rose, sugarcane and hibiscus also grow from stem cuttings. A length of stem is planted in the soil which grows into a new plant. 3. Leaves. Some leaves grow new plants from their edges. The new plants have their own leaves and roots. Plants like bryophyllum bear small seedlings on their leaves. These can be removed from the leaf and planted in the soil to get a new plant. Crops production. Plants that are grown in large quantities in a particular area to provide food and other substances are called crops. This practice of growing large quantities of plants for food and other purposes is called agriculture. In India, you have two crop seasons. The summer crops are called kharif crops, and the winter crops are called rabi crops. Rice, jowar, bajra, jute, peanuts, maj and pulses are kharif crops. Some vegetables and fruits like onion, pumpkin, tomato, gourd, mango, lychee, melon and plum are also grown during summers. Wheat, barley, gram, peas and mustard are rabi crops. Some fruits and vegetables like apple, banana, orange, spinach, radish, peas and cauliflower are also grown during winters. Steps for crop production. 1. Plowing. It is the preparation of soil for sowing the seeds. 2. Manuring. The addition of manure makes the soil rich in nutrients. 3. Sowing. The seeds are then sown in the prepared soil. 4. Irrigation. The field is then watered or irrigated. 5. Insecticides. They are sprayed on the standing crops to protect them from insects and pests. 6. Harvesting. The fully grown crops are picked from the fields or harvested. Storage of the crops. Agriculture is the primary occupation of our country. There has been much technological advancement in the field of agriculture over the last decade. It has led to an overall increase in the crop production, but one aspect that still needs to be dealt with is appropriate storage of crops. It is the time after the crops are harvested and before they are sent to the market. Many problems that pose threat to the stored crops are: adequate space for storage of crops, pests like rodents, squirrels, etc. that feed on the stored grains. Rain and moisture spoil the quality of the stored grains. Black marketing of stored crops.